Okay, we are live. What is going on, everyone? I'm hanging out with Jake from the Casualties, a band that's known for holding it all down in street punk for decades. And honestly, someone I've gotten to connect with over the last few months, and whenever they're playing live in what was OKC. So I am super excited to really have this interview. And shout out to my homie Jay Roberts for the intro. I will say the timing could not be better today because March 27th, they've officially dropped Detonate, the first full length album in 8 years, you guys. So, like, it has been a long time coming. So, this record taps into everything that's going on right now: politics, division, frustration, but it flips it into something powerful about unity and pushing back against the systems that are trying to divide people in today's day and age. So, and also, I can't wait to talk about this part too. No joke. Detonate Tour kicks off April 1st. So there's a lot going on for you guys. Jake, welcome to Teaser Talk. I'm beyond hyped that we finally making this happen.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, very cool. And before we kick things off, I want to say I am admiring your hair today. It looks really nice.
Thank
You've
you.
got how long does it take you to style that?
Oh man, I don't know, like 20 minutes or something, and then I just fix it.
Wow.
And,
That's
yeah.
longer than it takes my rat's nest. I literally just brush it and go. So
If I'm starting from scratch.
yeah, that's awesome. Well, let's hop into it. So it's been 8 years since full length record you guys have dropped. What actually lit the fuse for Detonate now? Was it a specific moment that you guys felt like, all right, it's time to come back swinging?
You know, when David joined the band about, I want to say like 9 years ago, not quite a decade ago, but almost. We right away recorded Written in Blood, and then we just hammered it with that to solidify his placement in the band and everything else. So we just got caught up, in touring and in personal lives and stuff. And before you know it, it's like, whoa, dude, that was already like 6 years ago. But in that whole time, I had been writing music, like, because I was living out in Montauk, and it was like really in the off season's very it's a lot of solitude, it's the guitar's there and you're just writing. And so I had tons and tons of riffs, and some were songs. Then I was started to slowly demo them out in Burbank with Riff, who recorded this record for us, right? So what happened was, it was like a slow bake, you know what I mean? Like, there was like we didn't just say, hey, we're gonna go write an album. It was like an arsenal of stuff ready to go. And then from that you pluck like the good, oysters out of the bunch, So
The good oysters. You're cracking me up. So the title Detonate sounds very explosive,
yeah.
obviously. But the message is really about unity over division. What does detonating mean to you in the context of this record?
Well, I think and that song was actually written by Meggers, and his idea was that we're all like sort of boiling over. We're not meant to like just to carry. We're not meant to carry the weight of the world. But we it's right in front of our face every day, so you have to address it. But it's like it can like really contribute to high volumes of stress when you just like see this stuff and you feel helpless and that kind of vibe. So it's like everything all at once, just bad news on top of bad news. I mean, look what's going on right now. It's like, God, what else is gonna happen? So
It's definitely tough
yeah.
with like today's with today's day and age, because that's all, like, when it gets into our algorithm, that's all we see is all the bad shit. And it's tough
Yeah,
because it's painful because you can't do anything, but you want to do something. 100%.
right. No, it's just it's of course, so we just sort of address what we feel, and like songs about like some of the songs about what's going on. And none of it was like really timed. It was just kind of like we were feeling this way anyway, and then all of a sudden it was even more relevant than we had tried to make it. It was just like, oh geez, well, look at this. Everything in the news was just boom, boom, boom. So people over power seems pretty appropriate. Yeah.
I'm telling you, when you guys dropped that and it was like Christmas morning when I saw it as a new single release, I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, this sounds perfect timing with the chaos that's going on in the world. So yeah, it couldn't
Oh,
have been better timing. You guys always knock it out of the park as always. And it's been a huge thing. I know I've been one of them that's very much excited about today's. So I'm know that you guys are actually in the UK. You guys are tuning in live from the UK. What are you guys doing
yeah.
there?
Yeah, I'm in. There's this. So we're in the UK right now in Scarsborough, which is kind of like a smaller city, but there's this big punk festival there, and so we're playing that tomorrow. And it was the perfect like thing to be like, yeah, let's go do a one-off there really quick. The record's out today, and then we play, and it's like boom, like we just go back home and tour. So we're late. I think we're gonna play tomorrow, and then the next day we're in the van at 5:45 going back to the airport, and
Oof.
and
You
then
guys are
going back to
insane.
Austin, and then we start our tour
Yeah.
April 1st, like you were talking about.
Yeah, I can't wait to dive into it. So I'm sorry, that was a squirrel moment for me, but let's go let's go back to the new
Yeah.
record and we'll dive more into that tour for sure. So People Over Power feels like a straight up call to action. When you guys were writing this and you guys were making this, what did it came from a specific moment or was it just kind of like what we talked about, like a built up of everything that's going on?
It was just, yeah, it was just like a slow build up of everything. It wasn't like we're gonna write this about this one thing that's go. It was just we were genuinely feeling like the people don't have to be putting up with this kind of BS, and it's like it feels like you know one of the other songs is Brick by Brick. It feels like
Mhm.
brick by brick they're taking your freedom away, like
Yep.
little by little. There's always like a little, here's a new little law, and then a little more of your privacy is gone, a little more of your freedoms are gone. And that's kind of like it's not just that, it's just like all these world events, and just man, it was really just boiling. And we were like, we were writing a song about it anyway. And of course, when that was coming out, it was like, then there's a dozen more terrible things happening. So it just kind of, we didn't time it. The government just did what the governments do. So,
I
yeah.
know I should be laughing, but at this point, what else can you
No,
do?
I
I think
know.
it's crazy, Bill. So there's a fine line between staying true and raw casualty sound. I'm sorry. Whoa, my voice just cracked. There's a fine line between staying true to that raw casualty sound and evolving. Where did you
Yeah.
guys push yourself musically on Detonate?
I think that, well, for sure, like, uh, some of the guitar technique improved. It had to, you know what I mean? Because I mean, like you can't. How do I say it? You kind of like you can evolve in a good way, or you
Mhm.
can evolve in a bad way. And like, but being a band for as long as we are, you're kind of like, don't you want to get a little bit better at your craft and give the fans like something like, hey, we care about what we're doing, and you can't also recreate 30 years ago. There's a sound that's specific to a time and a place on every record. But I think with Detonate, it's raw as can be. It's like it's heavy, and it's like we weren't gonna go softer. Like we weren't gonna like settle down. So we're casualties. That's not in the playbook.
100%. You've seen multiple generations come through the punk scene. What are
Yeah.
you noticing about the younger fans connecting to this message right now?
I think it's great. I mean, like we get a lot of younger fans, and I think like this style of music lends itself to a younger crowd usually. So it's
Yeah.
it's fun that like new fans are coming in. And I think that when you're like kind of younger, you kind of gravitate towards heavy music, and then some people also stick with it. I'll always love it. So I mean, um, I take it serious. Some people have it as a phase, which I don't understand because I can't really not do this. So I don't know. You do see people when you're a lifer of course you see people come and go. It's just part of it. It is what it is, and so don't get too attached to the
Yeah.
scene, because they're a
Well,
lot of times people are just looking for a sense of belonging and then they bail,
yeah. Well,
but there's other us that take it like in the heart.
like a lifestyle, exactly. And I think too, like especially with the younger crowd, a lot of kids are trying to be understood or heard. And I feel like this
Right.
specific scene is that it's not like, oh, you're just like shh, you're whatever. It's just
Yeah.
being raw and real and who you are. I love it. So if you were to sum up the world right now into one sentence and then turn it into a Casualties lyric, what would it be?
Jeez.
I know
Um,
I should have like gave you the answers to these. I
because
should
there's
have
so many
you the
good, there's so much
yeah.
from the new record that I'm like, I wouldn't know what to pick. I mean, there's things like, let's say what we were just talking about. There's a song on the new record called "Few the True." So it's like
Mhm.
it's the people that do stick around. It's like the ones that aren't just there for a year to make a splash and get out. It's kind of like it's for the dedicated, the people that stay into it. So there's that one I really like, "Few the True." But I mean, a lot of the songs on there really can strike on all those kind of topics where you're like, okay, this
Yeah.
is a band that's not just trying to, be big for 2 years and then be gone.
Yeah,
So
you guys aren't trying to fit into like, "Oh, what's trending and how can I make this sound bite
yeah,
viral on TikTok?"
yeah.
Like, it is raw and real, and I agree, and actually, that's one of my favorite songs that you just mentioned is on the album. I've been listening to it a couple of times,
Oh, cool. Yeah,
not that I'm like a crazy super fan or anything, but I have been listening to it today because it's amazing. So,
yeah.
yeah, like and it's just interesting though too, like, talking about, like, TikTok and all this stuff.
Mhm.
Do you think that the world is getting worse, or do you think people are just finally paying attention with all the outlets that we have available at our fingertips?
I think that because the later because bad shit has, like bad things have always been happening in our world. They have always
Mhm.
happened. You could go back in history and it was just terrible, terrible, terrible. But like, now it's just a little more available, and a lot of it's kind of cool because news outlets and media and stuff can't really pull the wool over everybody's eyes like they used to, because now everybody's got like a camera. So it's good and bad. It's like it's bad because you're getting hit with all this negativity and your heart goes out to the people that are suffering on the other side of the ocean and stuff like that. But um they can't really, it's what's cool, okay, what I'm trying to say is they can't get away with lying as much as they used to be able to. You can't cover up everything as easily, and I think we're seeing that across the board with a lot of things.
That is
So right, like all those like scandals with the island, and then like these wars that are happening, which are kind of for profit and oil and stuff like that. But I mean, I think it's like, well, okay, let's see how they're gonna spin this one, because we all know it's BS. You know?
100%. Again, it's
Yeah.
not funny, but how else can you, like, react right now? It's wild. Okay, so let's talk about some good stuff. The
Okay.
Detonate Tour kicks off April 1st. What can
Yeah.
fans expect from these shows? Are we talking full chaos, a balance of new material and classics? What can you, like,
I
let
think
us in on?
like what I'm hoping is that it can be like what we have been talking about, like that people can just come to the gig and have a good time to like some crazy music, and let some of that frustration out, and like let's all get together and like punks unite. Let's have a good time together, because it's just like everything else can get you down, especially for like punk people. We should be able to get together and have some fun, and there's got to be like a middle ground. So it can't always just be negativity. There's got to be like some like middle ground of like, okay, this is gonna be our time to have a good time, and and also focus on our lives too, because it can't always just be about current events.
Correct, yeah, I think because, like, whenever I caught you guys, oh my gosh, when was that? December, I believe, here in Oklahoma City,
Yeah.
and it was just an energy, you almost get lost, like, I just remember it's so funny the progression because 'cause I'm always like, I'll stand there, I'll kinda watch, I'm like, "Okay, I'm enjoying it," and then the next thing I know, I'm, like, up front in front of Jay, like, right in front of the stage, and it's just an energy where you just I don't know, like, there's no this bullshit going on that you worry about, it's just being present in the moment. And it's just,
Right.
yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
get together, dance, stage dive,
Yeah.
whatever. It's like you're gonna get the usual crazy casualty show, but
Yes.
I think it's important for people like that to have a sense of, because as human beings we want to congregate, we want to get together,
Mhm.
and especially at punk and punk shows, we want to pogo together and
Yeah.
have some of that punk rock community going, So that's kind of what I would like. If people are fans of the band, come out, let's hang out.
Hey, I've told you this. I've already started looking to say, okay, where am I going to fly out or where do I drive to catch you guys? Because it's definitely a moment. So, how do you
Yeah,
guys even begin
I
to?
think our strong spots are like places like Southern California,
Okay.
Texas, and even like Florida, Chicago. But I mean, like those small places in the middle are good too. I mean, we played a great show in Winston Salem, and that's like a little town in North Carolina. And like so, it's not always the biggest cities that are like the best, but I mean, it's pretty. I think this is gonna be a good run.
I can't wait. So, how do you guys even build a set list at this point when you guys have decades of
Yeah.
songs and also now these brand new songs off the record, off the new record? Like, how do you guys even start building that set list?
Well, it is annoying because you have this much material, and you only get to play like this much. So what are we cramming into an hour? It's for the new record. It's got to be like 5 to 6 songs because that's what's going right now. This is the tour you're seeing of that album, right?
Yeah.
But then of course we do like rock blocks of old stuff. There's going to be a chunk of For the Punks. There's going to be other ones that like I mean really we never really aren't going to ever play Unknown Soldier and We Are All We Have and Punk Rock Love because it's just those are like very fan favorite forward songs. So we're gonna play those probably every time.
I love it. Okay, so whenever I pinpoint a destination to come see you guys,
All right.
I am just going to right now publicly call it right now. I need your commitment that we are going to do our tour of Italy at the local Olive Garden.
Olive Garden. Yeah,
So
our
we can
merch guy
call it like,
Jeff turned us on to that. The tour
yes,
of Italy.
the tour of Italy. I can't wait. I've been dreaming about pasta and soups and salads and whatever else comes with the tour. So, yeah, a tour for tour. That's funny.
The
Okay,
tour
well,
of the tour of the tour.
exactly. So, Jake, as you know, this is teaser talk, and we love ending on a teaser. So, with Detonate out and the new tour coming about to kick off, what can fans be ready for from the Casualties in this next chapter? What can we tease them with?
Hmm. Well, geez, I just think it's going to be the thing where it's going to be 5 months of touring and pretty wild shows. So I don't know if you've never seen us before, come check it out because you're going to be like, whoa, this is gnarly.
I know I was. That's amazing. Well, Jake, seriously, thank you for your time today. I know today was such a special day for you and appreciate you
Yeah,
taking the time for the fans and just, chatting about all the things that are going on. So, you guys out there listening, Detonate is out now, the first Casualty record out since what, 8 years. So
yeah,
go and run and grab that up if you want to experience the way that it's meant to be heard. You guys go and grab those tickets for the tour. The Detonate Tour kicks off April 1st. Make sure you're following Teaser Talk for more interviews and make sure you guys are following the Casualties. Jake, again, thank you so much. I appreciate your
thank
time
you.
today.
Awesome.